Hello everyone. My name is Dhananjay and I'm your today host. Welcome to the webinar of building an effective omni-channel test strategy. I welcome to our speaker Sohaib Ahmed, who is pre-sale consultant at PCloud and has around 11 years of experience in IT. Prior to his role, he is working with Micro Focus as a pre-sales consultant for application delivery management, profile catering, DevOps, automation, performance, cloud, and mobility. And today, he will be giving an overview of building an effective omni-channel strategy. Uh, his agenda will be like what is omni-channel strategy, overview of different modalities, understanding the multi-experience testing. So, in this webinar, there are some housekeeping rules that currently your uh, line isn't muted, but if you have some questions, you can put down the question in the question tab, which is in the right side of your screen. Over to you, Shoaib Ahmed.
Thank you so much, Dhananjay, for the introduction. Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for your time. Yeah, as Dhananjay mentioned, so I'm a manager pre-sales consultant here at PCloud. So today we'll be looking into this webinar. I'll touch base around a few important topics. So first of all, we'll talk about more on the how to build an effective omni-channel test strategy, right? So we'll look into it. In case if you guys have any queries, you put on your queries on your chat, and I'll take your queries at the last. All right. So without much delay, let me just get started. All right. So here is the agenda. So we'll talk about the importance of apps in our lives and also the smart devices that we are seeing in day-to-day life, and we'll try and understand what omni-channel testing is all about, right? And we'll also look into the different modalities and how we can test those different modalities in today's testing world. And you will see all the various different multi-experience testing that come across in today's slide, and followed by a live demo, and then we'll quickly jump into the question answers, right? So that's the agenda for today. So let me just quickly brief about what PCloud is, right? So PCloud is basically it's a continuous testing cloud platform which provides you access to real mobile devices across Android and iOS platform, uh, plus a browser cloud testing where you can test all your web-based applications across different Windows, Mac machines, across different OS versions, different browsers. So it's a single stop shop for all your mobile and as well as web application testing. And with the features and capabilities that PCloud brings in for both manual as well as automation. And when we talk about our PCloud product, so there are six different pillars that we cater, right? So when I talk about device lab, it's pretty much to do with the mobile testing where we have a huge pool of devices over the cloud which can be accessed, and with different wide variety of mobile devices, different manufacturer versions, different screen sizes. So you can test all the different types of applications on it. Plus, as I said, so there's a separate section where we have a browser instance which helps you test all your web-based applications on either Windows or Mac machines with different browser versions, right? Which helps you test your browser compatibility across various different browser machines. And when we talk about rapid automation, this is more towards creation of the script, right? How are we going to create the scripts? So we do also have another flagship product, which is called as an Omni, which is basically a zero code automation solution. So anyone can create the script while they're recording. So it has a record and playback. So while you record, the entire steps gets recorded in simple plain English language, and you can execute those scripts on PCloud devices. So Omni has been tightly coupled, integrated with PCloud platform. So it's a separate flagship product. And when it comes to from PCloud's perspective, we do also have our own object spy, which helps you in creation of the scripts, right? For identifying the elements, object elements, and understand the hierarchy of it. So where you can quickly create your test script. So that's about rapid automation, what we refer here. And automation can be scaled up, the automation execution, so which helps you, in overcoming the test execution challenges. Right? So the same script can be executed across different multiple devices at the same time, and thereby achieving the parallel execution. So it depends on the requirement. Again, the execution can be carried out on wide variety of devices at the same time, and thereby managing and effectively from automation execution perspective. And when it comes to test analytics, we do have a uh, very rich report mechanism, which helps you identify the issues or the bugs that you find while you are testing, either through manual or through automation, right? Which helps you understand about your testing statistics, right? And we've recently launched progressive reports as well, which basically gives you the real-time statistics of your testing. So while you're testing, you can understand, how your what's your testing status, right? Understand the logs, live streaming of the execution, understand various different logs, device logs, MB, APM logs. So this will help you understand the real-time statistics of your test execution while the test is happening. And then the last, when we talk about DevOps, our platform is DevOps ready. We can pretty much integrate with all your different CI servers, starting from Jenkins, TeamCity, Bamboo, Azure DevOps, and so on. Right. So that's about this slide. So let me jump into the next slide. So PCloud has been listed by many industrial specialists, especially around technology when it comes to Gartner 2020 report. All right, so we have been trusted with for the report on the how to build an effective remote testing competency. Not just Gartner, even from when we talk about the G2 crowd. So we have been recognized by these two highly profiled testing analysis partners. So let's try and understand what are the importance of apps in our today's world, right? So in today's life, in this digital era, the physical devices bring to us flavors of flavors, or basically the digital experience through voice, audio, or even through bots, and even the augmented reality versus the virtual reality. So in today's world, in today's reality, when we talk in the race of creating the positive brand image and also the perception, so now the enterprises are looking ways to strengthen their digital experience. So that can only be done by streamlining their user experience across multiple platforms. So it is easy to make their presence known across various platforms by having an omni-channel communication and engagement strategy. So when we talk about applications, so the applications are all around us, right? For every we are tied with apps, right? Without apps, I think we cannot even imagine our life in today's digital era. For everything, there is an app. Starting from banking to shopping across different e-commerce websites, and from handling the financials, and also from buying the groceries and so on. So everywhere it's digital apps. So apps plays a very important role in today's life. And so there are some smart apps for some of these smart devices. So we very frequent talk about these smart devices nowadays, right? Starting from smartwatches to having a complete home system with the smart devices, which manages your entire house, right? Even when you talk about from the security point. So it has been coupled with the devices within smart homes. When we talk about smartphones, or be it Alexa, or even Google Home, right? And it can also be a voice assistant. And as I mentioned, we will talk about the smartwatches and also the security system. So all these devices plays a key role in today's digital transformation what we have, and it's been part of our life. Everyone, somewhere or the other, we are tied to these different products. Somewhere or the other, we are using, and it's bound to increase more. So in the future, we will have many such smart devices which we cannot even think of right at this point. right? So how are we going to make sure that these apps and these smart devices are tested properly, so that to enhance we give a proper user experience, right? And along with some interaction modalities. When we talk about interaction modalities, it could be through voice, it could be through gestures, right? And even a text. So these are the various different interaction modalities. So this is something which we have to look in today's digital space, right? So let's try and understand more on this, how we can test all these different applications, different smart devices, so that will help us further in our process, right? So let's try and understand what omni-channel all is about, right? So when we talk about omni-channel, basically it is nothing but, it's also a testing methodology which revolves around the testing an application or a product, right, across various different devices and platforms. So omni-channel is something where we target the methodology. It's a process where the application or the product is being tested across various different devices. There are hundreds of devices and different platforms. So we have to make sure that the application is tested or the product is tested across different platforms and different devices, right? So what is the aim here? So the aim is to ensure that the user experience is seamless and also consistent across all the platforms. So it's very important that the focus is towards the testing the feature, testing the product or the application across various different platforms, so that the end user gets the seamless experience, right? And also this assurance of seamless user experience is actually a major part of of the overarching field of in today's digital assurance. And now enterprises are bringing a unified experience across platforms and also devices to bring more of acceptance and pace up the digital transformation. And so the QA and the testing has a massive role to play and ensure that all aspects work cohesively and give the desired experience which is required. So testing cannot be an aftermath. It has to be intervened within the development process. So that's the importance of testing. And when we especially talk about the omni-channel testing, right? Just to put it on a high level, on omni-channel testing methodology. So it's a process where the testing is focused on testing an app or a product across various different platforms or different devices. All right. So that's about application testing. And when we talk about multi-experience apps, right? What are there? So let's try and see. So there are various different definitions for the multi-experience. So let's try and look what Gartner says. So multi-experience is all about about leveraging the various modalities. As I talked about, when I talk about modalities is something to talk about the the experience of testing the different voice commands, different gestures, different chat options. So these are the various different modalities that needs to be tested with. And especially when we look at the diagram and try and understand, right? So these are the different modalities that I was talking about. It could be a touch or a chat or a gesture or even through voice, and these are very much integrated or has a common in all the different devices. It could be from starting from a mobile device, or it could be a laptop or proper machine, or even it could be a smart device or a smartphone, right? On which can be a handheld device. So all these plays a very important role, and it's very important that these different modalities are tested properly, and we have a right platform to test these different modalities, which helps gaining the seamless user experience to the customer, right? So basically, the idea here is to interact with the customers at as many touch points as possible, so that we offer a consistent customer experience across the web apps or mobile apps or even other modalities, right? So we just try to understand from the diagram. So that really talks about the multi-experience development, which is really required in today's world. We are tied up with these different technologies and the devices and the technology which is growing in day by day, right? So how are we making sure that these are tested? Now let's look at some of the testing challenges what we see in today's right. It could be through a digital user journey. So now you see every organization is adopting a digital journey, right, from their organization in order to cope up with today's demand, to help the user get the the best possible user experience. So it's basically this journey evolves through multiple devices, different interaction modalities, and also bringing together the various different resources across different functional testing aspects. It's very important how these are some of the challenges I'm just trying to list it out here. And adoption of automation tools, it is also very important. What is the right tool that I need for my automation? Right? So which is very important. We have to analyze this from various different factors, starting from the skill sets of the user that we have within the organization, and right, and how easy the tool is to understand, and start using the tool. So the tool should be effective enough and also has an easy user of experience, so that any user starts working on the tool should get hands-on the tool and get started working from it. So very important part from adoption of test automation tools. And of course testing across various different platforms, right? So we have to make sure this is also one of the biggest challenge. Different technologies, cloud platform, it differs from Android to iOS. And also when you talk about the desktop browsers, from testing from Windows is really different when you are testing on a Mac machine, correct? So the resources and the testing tools that we use has to be in conjunction with these different technologies that we cater. And there will be some challenges around integration. How are we going to integrate between two different tools, right? And does the integration is really required, right? And if it required, how are we going to do that? So there will be challenges when you're working with multiple testing solutions, right? And if there is a need to integrate, there comes really a big challenge. Correct? It's not so straightforward that we integrate on the fly. And also API-driven testing, which is very important. It's not just that we test from the user perspective, but it also at the same time, while the application is developed, it's also important that we test across the API-driven testing side. Correct. And also with the maturity of Agile and DevOps. So gone are those days when organization adopted the traditional waterfall model. Now it's towards agile, and it is every day. It is the technology is evolving, and so the maturity of these different tools. So we have to cope up with these different challenges, either through having a right skill sets, having a right platform on the tool which helps us test against these different challenges. Correct. So these are some of the testing challenges that we see in our day-to-day life. And so let's try and understand some of the testing capabilities required, so that to ensure the omni-channel testing. So cross-platform testing at scale, which is which I just spoke about in the testing challenges. Right. So there are many challenges when it comes to testing multi-experience apps. So let's look at how we can overcome them by looking the list of 5 different types of testing capabilities here to ensure the ease of digital testing, the multi-user experience with the omni-channel. Right. So we will need to test the multiple user experience apps on cross-platform testing lab to ensure the coverages of various touchpoints. Enabling shift left, where you enable the continuous testing for faster feedback, and also loop and delivery. And when we talk about rapid automation, so we need to adapt rapid automation techniques so that we automate the testing at various different levels of testing and take the execution automation at scale. Visual testing, right? Again, when we talk about various different modalities, so these modalities has to be tested across various different types of testing. So it can be through visual AIs, such as it can be through OCRs or even image recognition. So that you minimize the human interference here. And with the advanced technology capabilities, we talked about various different modalities. It could be through voice, chatbots, gestures. There's an augmented reality, which is virtual reality. So multi-user experience apps include all of these. So and it is very important. They play a very important part in our apps. So testing can only be successful if it can be tested across all these different gestures or audios at the same time. So how PCloud can help in digital transformation. We'll talk about the digital transformation that we see, right? So we provide a complete cloud infrastructure to perform the testing on real browsers and devices, right? And we hope to meet in the spaces of testing other devices such as uh, smart speakers or even wearable technologies in the near future as well. So continuous testing is a very key to test and release quality apps and also update faster various technologies, techniques such as rapid automation, DevOps, test analytics, automation at scale. So I have been talking about this various different options. So that will help us enable the continuous testing. And cloud-based remote testing platform would entitle not just the coverage of the varied devices, but also to test the variety style of interactions that one would perform on the device. So as I touch base around some of the challenges, so it could be through any of these multi-experience testing. So it could be through touch, various gestures, different gestures. There could be swipe, scroll, right, or even zoom in or pinching. So is the tool capable enough of helping you test all these various different gestures? So PCloud has the capabilities which helps you test across these various different aspects, along with the voice capability, which is very important to test nowadays. We have a lot of apps which are voice assistant, or there are many applications with voice support. So PCloud can certainly help across these different challenges that we have seen in our previous slides with our product. So we'll see a quick demo on the PCloud's front. I'll just quickly run through some of the value-added features and functionality that PCloud brings in. So let me just take you through the product. I'm just switching into the browser here. So device.pcloudy.com is the URL, which is basically a public cloud. When we talk about offerings, we have three different offerings: public, private, on-premise. Right. So public cloud, as the name suggests, it's a shareable platform where you can test your applications on wide variety of different devices. So we have more than 350 plus physical devices hosted across different data centers in India, US, Singapore. Right. So at any given point, it's a pay-as-you-go model. And on the enterprise side, so we have private and on-premise, which is basically a dedicated cloud instance. So we do support these different offerings. So let's quickly get into the demonstration part. I'm just signing in with my credentials and taking it to the platform. Right. So well, this is the new UI that PCloud has brought. Right. It's a new user experience that we have brought in, where it's a single stop shop for all your testing needs, be it from mobile testing or from web application testing. All right. So when we talk about devices section, so let's get into the devices tab, where you can view all the different devices that are hosted across different data centers, as I said. Right. So PCloud supports only physical devices. We do not support simulators or emulators, but it's really important that we test on our scenarios on the real physical devices. right? So these are the devices that you see, as in when you connect to the platform. I can acquire any of these devices depending on the availability of the device. Since it's a public cloud, you may see some of the devices already in use, because we have customers across the globe accessing the platform. So we do have multiple instances of some of the popular devices like iPhones and some of the Android devices as well. So you can always look for devices which they are not available. And acquiring the device is very straightforward, right? So just look at the device availability and you can just connect to the platform. All right, so that's about these various different devices. There are search filters which helps you test across various different versions of Android, starting from Android 5 to Android 12, different iOS versions, along with beta if there's any, different OEMs that are available in the market. So we can quickly have a look at the different OEMs that are available on there, and you can select the ones which you are needful. Different screen sizes. We support different smartphones, tablets, and phablets. So you can pretty much search with different screen sizes. Different network carriers. This is for interruption-based testing. So if you want to test the calling functionality or the SMSs functionality, so we have real SIM cards on some of the devices like Airtel, Vodafone, in case of India data center, and for US we have some of the US network carriers as well. And data centers, as I said, so we have our data centers based across different locations. In India, we have it in a couple of locations in Bangalore and Mumbai, and one in US and one in Singapore. So these are the various different options. So before I acquire a device, let me also talk about another important section called My App Data. So what is My App Data? My App Data is all about a cloud drive or a cloud instance given to every individual user, where the user can upload all their APKs and IPA from their local drive. So it's very straightforward. You may simply upload the file, click on upload file, browse your app on your local drive, right? So this will help you, fetch the application if it's on the local drive. But otherwise, if you are distributing your apps through Microsoft App Center or you run test flights, so we do have integration with these different test distribution tools as well. So this is the My App Data, where you can manage all your test data, including the apps, which you can install it on the device. So with that, let me just get into the devices section and just take you through some of the important value-added features, and show you the different functionalities as well. So let me just try and acquire a device, whichever is available. I can just scroll down, look for any device, and just click on connect. I can also click on more details to understand what is the hardware and the software configuration the device is having. Let me just acquire the device by clicking on the connect button. So once I click on connect, the device will get connected. Yeah, as you can see. So this is the device interaction page. So there are various different options on the left as well as on the right. I can start by installing the application. Either I can get into the Play Store or App Store, download the app, and from the production, if it's already there, I can download and install it. Or if it's in the form of APKs and IPA, I may simply go to install button here and select the app which I want to install it. Right, I have some sample apps which I can pretty much install it at any given point. So let me just try and install any sample apps here. I will simply click on install. So once I click on install, the application will get installed on this device, and I can start my testing. So now while I acquire the device, the entire session is being recorded in the form of video. All right, and that video is will be available in the report section for you to view the application. Let me update the app. I can get into the Play Store. If my app is already there, I can quickly install it. Yeah, here the application is getting downloaded. And along with the video, we are also providing you the logs. The entire session is already also recorded in the form of logs. So these are the two important artifacts by default we provide. There are different logs. As a functional test engineer, you can monitor the logs. So these are the color-coded logs which you are getting directly from the device, which you can stack trace, right? And also, if the application is getting crashed in between, you can pretty much monitor them in real time and help understand if there are any specific issues at the device level. So these are basically the logcat information that you are getting from the device. So that's about logs. And from performance metrics point, in order to understand how intensive is your app in terms of consuming the CPU, memory, battery, you may just simply use this choose application, select the app which you have installed, And once you click on it, you'll start seeing all the performance vitals. So these are the real-time statistics that you're getting, which helps you understand the performance bottlenecks if there are any. It gives you understanding about your app on the specific device in terms of what is the consumption of memory usage. Similarly, there's a CPU usage, network usage in terms of upload and download bytes, and uh, and even the different battery capacity, which talks about battery capacity at the device level, app level, and also battery consumption. Right? So all these parameters will help you understand on various different aspects. So that you can pretty much do, and there are various different uh, features as well, which you can see it on the left hand side. You can pretty much use various different actions, like for instance, if you need to test anything around network simulation, right? So what we have done is we have created some profiles by throttling our Wi-Fi, like 2G, 3G, 4G, and different custom bandwidth. So this will help you analyze the network performance of your app on a specific device. I can use any of these profiles. Say, for example, if I need to test it with 4G data, I may just simply use this device, just click on share. And once I click on share, this will be given to the device at the API level, right? So now if I, whatever action that I do on this device would be under 4G data, all right? So at any given point, if I need to test my network performance, I need to see, I can pretty much do it through this network simulation. Location, again, if there are any location specific scenarios, if your application is a location aware app and if it feeds the data based on the location, then you can actually mark the location. You can select on map, and a Google map will appear. So our data center is hosted in Bangalore and Mumbai. So now if I need to change the location across the globe, I may simply come here, select the location, the corresponding lat and long information will be captured. On clicking on set, this will be given to the device at the API level. So now if I try to detect the location, or if I try to refresh the app, right? So the app will set the coordinates, and the location will be changed accordingly. All right. So that's how you can test your application on real devices. Let me just try to acquire another device. There seems to be some issue on that specific device. Yeah. Let me just connect to the Galaxy S21 Plus here. All right. Let me just install the same app. I can meanwhile enable the logs, and also from analysis point, this is from more from performance metrics as we discussed. So you can choose the app. Yeah, when the application is getting installed, I can get all these metrics as well in real time. Yeah. Let me just quickly update. All right, I was just talking about the location part. Let me just try and do the same on this device. Let the app get updated. All right, so yeah, here's the Google Map Earth. So I can mark the location. So this device is hosted in Bangalore. So now maybe from different part of the world, I can simply select and click on set. So once I click on set, this will be given to the device at the API level. So now if I try to relaunch the app, or if I try to detect the location, the app will set the coordinates which we have set to the map, and this will start giving me the data as if I'm in testing in that location. Right. So if I just do that, so it will fetch the location, and yeah, the address will be updated accordingly, and you'll start seeing the data based on the location that you have set. Right. So if there are any such specific scenarios, you can pretty much test it. And for the developers, if you are if you have a mobile based web application and you want to inspect the objects and elements or understand the network calls, so we have Chrome debugger for you. that will help you analyze all the objects elements. Um, so Chrome debugger is for Android, and similarly for iOS we have Safari debugger. ADB commands mostly used by the developers again. So we do support all the ADB different commands. You can execute it and get the result instantly. So this is also there, pretty much there. You can test your web-based applications across different browsers. All right, so we do support all the different browsers starting from Chrome, Firefox, Microsoft Edge, Opera, and so on. So you may test your browsers again these different browser versions so that you test it against various different compatibilities testing. While if there are any applications which are accessed locally, right? So when I say locally, these are internal apps which are restricted in only in specific network, which are not accessible outside public. So in such cases, you can use this utility called Wildnet. You may install the utility on your local machine, and then you can just configure it. Once you configure, a connection would be established from this device to the PCloud from your local machine to this device, and the request and the responses would be through the tunnel. So basically, the device would be using your local internet network, and you shall be able to access all your internal apps. Right? So that's about Wildnet. You may capture screenshots at any given point if you found any defects and you think there are defects. You can pretty much just capture them. Going further, you can capture the screenshots and you can further edit, delete, or download. To further edit, you may click on edit option, just change the font size if required and start highlighting the defects. Maybe if you have found any defects, just click highlight the defect. I'm just taking a hypothetical example. Maybe this icon is in the wrong place, and provide some meaningful name to it and confirm save. So once I confirm save, the edited screenshot would also appear next to this actual screenshot. And not just that, you can also collaborate it. So we have integration with Jira, Slack, and GitHub. You can pretty much integrate with these different platforms and log a bug. So this will help you, share your findings across different teams based in different locations. So that will further enhance your testing timelines as well. And with that, we also support some new features like touch id, which helps you test against various biometrics. So if your application is authenticated through biometrics, you can use touch id. And also if there are any qr codes or images that needs to be tested, so there is an inject file feature which helps you test any image-based testing, right? Either scanning the QR code or barcodes, so you can inject the files during runtime and you can test it pretty much it. All right, so that's about inject file feature. So yeah, so these are some of the important features and functionalities that I have just taken you through. All right, and once you are done with your test, you may release the device. You will be notified with a pop-up which says your data on this device will be cleaned up. So what does this mean is we will make sure the app which you have installed on the device will be uninstalled from the backend and will clear the cache cookies, and also the device will be power cycled. So next time when you connect to the same device, the device will be in its original state, right? So this is more from security and the compliance. So we are certified with ISO 27001 and SOC 2 compliance. So you can be rest assured whatever apps that you have tested on our platform are absolutely safe. So now I have released the device so that the uh, cleanup starts the backend. And this was more from mobile test testings. And now when it comes to the browser part, if you are having a web-based applications and you want to test it across various different browsers, so as I said, PCloud is a one-stop shop for all your mobile and as well as web application testing. So you can test it across various different OS versions, different browsers at any given point, be it Windows or Mac machines. Acquiring is again very straightforward depending on the availability. You may just acquire it, just click on connect and the machine will get acquired, right? And you can perform your web-based application testing either through manually or automation. So we do have integration with Selenium in case of automation, right? And this is the default page once you connect to a specific machine. So we have now connected to a machine which is Windows 8.1, which has a Chrome 91.0.4, right, based in India location, right? So now I can start testing my any application. Say for instance, .in, I can just launch the app, and also if I need to test across various different screen resolutions, I can pretty much change. By default it is 1920 and 1080. I can switch to any different screen resolutions, right? So that I test the behavior of the app, capture screenshots if there are any, right? I can further get into the gallery section and edit if there are any specific issues, just like how we did it, right? Capture the defect, provide some meaningful name to it, and confirm save, right? So that's how you can manage, and also you can collaborate it. So you can log a bug instantly on the Zira. All right, so that's pretty much it from desktop browser side. I can quickly release this once I'm done with my test. And so the data will be cleaned from the backend, right? So that no one accesses your applications, what you have tested with. And if there are any internal apps as well, you can pretty much test it on these real browser machines by using a wildnet feature. All right, and we do provide reports for every sessions, be it for manual or automation. To access the reports, you can get into the report section, which helps you, give you the findings that you have, captured during your testing, be it for manual and as well as automation. So this is our session. So further, I can click on view report. The report will something look like this, which gives you a quick overview on your testing, on which device, what is the configuration of the device, session details, and all the performance metrics, like the battery chart, which talks about battery consumption at the device level, app level, memory chart similarly, which talks about memory consumption of your application. So you can monitor the spikes at any given point. So if there are any memory leaks, or there are any bottlenecks, you can just identify the timestamp and just try to understand at which specific point your application is consuming more memory. And similarly, there is a CPU chart which talks about app level CPU, user level, system level CPU, and user level CPU. Network chart if there is any, and snapshots. All the snapshots which you have taken are available again here, which you can download it on the machine. And these are the logs and videos, right? So the entire session has been recorded in the form of logs, which you can download it and you can actually use it for further debugging purpose. And these are the default videos. The entire session gets recorded, right? So this will help you during reproducing the defect, and in case if it needs to be shared with the developers, you can pretty much have a look at it. So that's how the report looks like. And of course, the reports are shareable. You can pretty much log a bug here in Jira if you have not already done. You just need to authenticate with your Jira credentials. So that will be a one-time activity. Post that, you'll start seeing all your project details here, and you can log whether if it's a bug or a task, provide your summary and description, and also capture the video evidence, logs, and screenshot, which can be helpful, right, for you to test it. So yeah, again, defect logging is very streamlined here, which will help you log a bug quickly. And these reports are shareable reports, all right? So you may just have to click on copy report link. Report link gets created, and you may share it among your team members. So anyone with the access to the link will be able to access the report. So they need not be PCloud user. All right. So this will help the leadership team or different users to quickly have a look at your testing results. So that will help them understand on the testing status, right? On where we are and what are the critical bugs that are found, all that. So that's pretty much it from the manual testing part. And when it comes to automation, we have various different tools that we talked about. In particular, if you're using APM for your mobile automation, you can pretty much get integrated with PCloud. We have a lot of videos and also various different webinars that are conducted. So you can just run through it. For the benefit of the time, I may not be able to cover the automation part, but yeah, just the intent is just to cover that we support all these different tools that are available. Opkey is our again internal solution, right? Which is zero code automation. So anyone can create the script. So it has a record and playback. Anyone can create the scripts while they are recording, and can execute the scripts on PCloud platform as well. And other open source automation tools like Espresso and also XUI test are also supported. And with the advancement of Visual UI, you can incorporate Visual AI technologies within your automation scripts to identify the defects very easily, which cannot be done through an human eye. Right? Rather, it takes a lot of time to it. So we have pretty much implemented the visual AI, so which you can make use it, which will help you identify the defects very faster. It's just a piece of code that you need to add, and the uh, rest of the things will be taken care by the PCloud visual AI technology. Correct. So yeah, so that's pretty much it from my side on the today's discussion around omni-channel testing. Right. I hope the session was insightful. Sorry for the glitch that happened in between on one of the devices. I'll just try to follow up with the team. But however, yeah, I hope the session was insightful, and I'll quickly open up for a Q&A now. If you guys have any queries, you can feel free to think and drop out your queries on the chat. So I'll take up your queries. All right, so let me take a few queries that are coming in. All right, so there is one question from user Aaron. He says, "What is the difference between omni-channel and multi-channel?" A very good question, Aaron. We did discuss around this, but yeah, I would like to answer. So, omni-channel is mainly focused towards the user experience, right? So, when the focus here is around a specific application or a product that you're testing, will be tested across various different platforms or different devices, right? The focus is mainly on the user experience. So that's wherein we use an omni-channel methodology. It's basically it's a process. And when we talk about multi-channel, so here the focus is mainly towards a specific feature or a task that needs to be performed to find the issues, right? So that helps identifying the issues. So these are the two difference between when we talk about omni-channel and multi-channel, right? And also when we talk about the from the process point, it's pretty streamlined. Omni-channel is just a single process, and so the multi-channel. All right, I hope I have answered your question. Okay, so there is another question. How to test the various interaction modalities like voice, gestures, etc. So does PCloud support all of these? Yes, absolutely. As you might have heard me, I was more emphasizing towards these interaction modalities, especially around voice, gestures. Right. So PCloud has some of the features which helps you test across these different. It could be through various gestures, either be pins to zoom, swipe, scroll, double tap. And when it comes to voice is something which is very important. Yeah, and very soon we are also going to support other smart wearables, right? It could be a smartwatch and other smartphone devices. So PCloud pretty much support all these different testing. Okay, and there's one more question by Vijay Raj. He says, "What is the importance of visual testing? How PCloud can help?" Visual testing is very important in to identify the issues, right? Uh, through the automation code. So there are various different technologies. PCloud has its own visual AI, which can help you identify the issues very quickly. So you just need to implement certain small piece of code within your script, and which actually helps you identify the issues at very faster pace. So there is a webinar around visual testing as well. So that's available on our PCloud website. So if you want to understand more about it, you can visit and just have a look at it. Yeah. Okay. So there is one more question. Says, how can I make sure that I test my app across various different devices, different combinations, different models, right? On a specific cloud. Does PCloud has all the different various models? Uh, yeah, absolutely. I cannot see your name, but yes, to answer your question, PCloud supports various different devices, not just devices, different manufacturers, different models, different screen size resolutions, which helps you test your app across these different wide varieties. Right? Especially on the public cloud, we do have all these different combinations, which helps you test against these different devices, and thereby you can do the device test coverage when testing your applications. All right, so if there are any further queries, you can feel free to drop us an email. I'll be happy to answer to your queries one on one. But otherwise, if there are no queries further, I think we can conclude the session. So thank you so much again for your valuable time. We look forward in many more webinars which are coming in coming future days. So thank you so much for your time. Have a great evening. Goodbye.